Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our first speaker for today, Mr. Dan Knowlton.
He was ranked in the top 100 digital influencers on Twitter. He's a digital and social media marketing expert that has worked with global brands including FIFA, Nestle, and Boston Consulting Group. Today, he's joined Digitalium to talk about Instagram Advertainment in 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Knowlton.
Digitalium audience, close your eyes. Oh, come on, don't be nervous. You can trust Dan. He's just a big, lovely British guy you've never met before, asking you to close your eyes through a voiceover. There's nothing weird going on here. Hey, 6th row, guy with the dark hair. I see you with your eyes open. So, I want you to imagine it's January 2009. You're part of Microsoft's marketing team, and you're in a huge boardroom in a really important meeting. Do not mess this up. Focus. Do not get distracted. Oh my God, they have a beer fridge in the boardroom. That is so cool. I've got to post this on Instagram. Oh wait, it's 2009. Instagram hasn't launched yet. How do I post a picture on MySpace? Oh no, I got distracted. What's this guy saying? We need to develop an incredible marketing campaign idea that will help promote the brand new launch of Windows 7. The campaign needs to be a real community experience that engages people in all walks of life. It needs to be authentic, it needs to be huge, but at the same time, intimate and personal. So, who has a good idea?
I have a good idea. Hey. So, to promote the launch of Windows 7, we encourage our users to have parties. Not just any parties, though, a Windows 7 launch party. And you're probably wondering what a Windows 7 launch party will involve. And it will involve us encouraging groups of Windows 7 users to come together to test out the new software, troubleshoot the new system together, explore the magic of the new Microsoft system together. Not just that, we'll even give people who host these parties free Windows 7 software. Not that just that, we'll provide organized packs showing them how to organize their parties. Who thinks this is a great idea? Okay, you're not really with me on this yet. This clicker's not working, by the way. Clicker? Anyone? Yes, you missed that slide. So, a Windows 7 launch party, right? No one thinks it's a good idea. And I think I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking that no one in their right mind would choose to have a Windows 7 launch party. Who on earth would want to have a Windows 7 launch party? We'd need to think of a really creative way to get people to actually want to have a Windows 7 launch party. But I've thought of the solution. Do you want to hear my solution? Yes. My solution is we create a viral video. Not just any viral video, though. A viral video that shows our users how cool a Windows 7 launch party will be. When they see this video showing how cool a Windows 7 launch party will be, they won't have a choice. They'll love it so much that they'll have to have a Windows 7 launch party, right? Okay, I guess my ideas kind of suck. I think you're probably thinking something else. You're probably thinking that this Windows 7 launch party viral video, it would have to look authentic. How would we make it look authentic? It would have to appeal to a wide demographic of people, and it would have to be authentic. And again, I've thought of the solution. Who wants to hear my solution? Yes. Okay. So my solution is we hire a demographically correct set of actors and actresses. We write the scripts, we tell them what to do, we tell them what to say, so this Windows 7 launch party will look exactly how we want it to look, right? Okay, you're still kind of not with me on this. I think there's one more thing you're probably thinking. One more thing you're thinking that's stopping you get on board with this campaign idea. You're probably thinking that no one in their right mind would choose to watch this crap video, right? Who on earth would want to watch a load of actors and actresses pretending to have fun at a party? And for this whole campaign to work, we need to get people to watch this video, because the video is what's going to encourage people to have their own parties to then promote the launch of Windows 7. And I've thought of this. I've thought of a really clever idea. Even if people don't want to watch our viral video, I know how we can make them watch it. We don't give them a choice. Non-skippable ads. Who's heard of non-skippable ads, right? These are amazing. You put them in front of a piece of content that your audience actually wants to watch, and they can't skip it. It's amazing. And by a stroke of genius, I've actually got a segment of this campaign that we've all just developed together. You're just as responsible as I am, okay? Who would like to see a segment of this campaign? Yeah? Okay, let's take a look at this masterpiece.
Hey, welcome to the party. The four of us, along with
Turn the audio up,
and you,
please.
are launching Windows 7 Ultimate software. So, you know what? Let's take a minute or so to tell you about
Okay, you
how
can't
great
hear it.
is to host a launch party. You can use house party tools to build your guest list, upload your pictures, which is his favorite, right?
Okay, I'll just
And
describe
you
what's
can get a
happening.
party pack.
There's people
So you
pretending
can
to have a
also
Windows 7
be
launch
able to
party.
participate with others
Actors and
in an
actresses.
exciting event around the world.
In a lot of ways, you're just throwing a party with Windows 7 as an honored guest. Sounds easy, and it is. But we thought you'd probably like to know what to do to get ready and how some hosts want their party to flow.
Yeah. Well, now the four of us got to have our parties a little ahead of schedule. You know, try everything out. So we thought we'd be able to tell you some of the tips that help make our parties really fun.
Now, of course, the first thing you want to do is install Windows 7. Right?
Duh.
Yeah, make sure you do that a couple days in advance of the party.
Well, okay, that sucked. But I kid you not, this was a genuine campaign launched by Microsoft in 2009 to promote their Windows 7 software. And despite this being shot and recorded in 2009, the principles around why this sucked so bad resonate with a lot of the marketing that brands are pushing out in 2018. Let's look at some of the reactions to this campaign. So Ian here. I'm beginning to think that no one involved with Microsoft's advertising has ever left the house or spoken to a real person. It makes sense, right? They get better. They get better. Rob says, comedy was an uninvited guest at Microsoft's house party. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? You can't help but agree. This one gets a bit deeper. So James says, if Microsoft had been put in charge of marketing sex, the human race would have ended long ago because no one would be caught dead doing something that uncool. Who agrees? Yeah, that sucked, right? So how can one of the biggest brands in the world get this so wrong? How can they get this so wrong? If they can get it wrong, we can get it wrong. And it really boils down to one key thing. Microsoft forgot one key thing. No one gives a shit. No one gives a shit about you, your brand, your product, your service. No one goes on Instagram, on social media to consume content about you. They go on there to be educated, entertained, inspired. They go on there to consume content from their favorite influencers, connect with friends, connect with family. How dare Microsoft have the audacity to think that you care that much about their product, that you actually have a house party revolved around their product? It sounds ridiculous just saying it, doesn't it? They actually did that. So despite that, there is some types of advertising, some types of marketing that we actually look forward to consuming. We actually get excited to watch these types of marketing and advertising, just like our favorite Netflix show. So I'm going to put the question to you guys. What types of marketing and advertising do you actually look forward to consuming? Any ideas? Just shout some out. Sorry? Sorry? Budweiser, okay. He's a drinker. Any others? Okay, you're a bit shy. I'll tell you what, I'll make your life easier. I'll just show you the examples I've got, yeah? Okay, so the first example, Super Bowl ads. Who here gets more excited to watch the Super Bowl ads than the Super Bowl itself? Yeah? I still don't know what the Super Bowl is, but I love the Super Bowl ads. Why? Why do we like watching Super Bowl ads? Well, the National Retail Federation carried out some research that starts to provide the first piece of the puzzle to show us why this is. So they surveyed 7,227 people who watched the Super Bowl in 2018. And they found out something really interesting. They found out that 80% of people class the Super Bowl ads as entertainment. Let that sink in for a second. 80% of people are classing Super Bowl ads, something that's purely focused around selling them a product or service, in the same category as their favorite Netflix show. That's mental. Let's look at another example, Christmas ads. So I don't know how popular Christmas ads are here in Romania, but back in the UK, we wait all year with anticipation to see Christmas ads from our favorite brands like John Lewis, Marks & Spencer's, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Audi. And within these ads, they communicate magical stories based around Christmas that remind us of our childhood, they're very nostalgic, right? And we wait all year with anticipation for these ads. And brands are pumping huge, like mental amounts of money into these campaigns. So in the last quarter of 2018, brands pumped £6.4 billion into advertising in the last quarter. And that's been steadily growing since 2010. This is a clear sign that this type of advertising is working. Again, why? Why is that? And the reason that as consumers we love this type of advertising, it hits us there. It makes us feel something. It makes us feel happy, it makes us feel sad, it makes us cry, it makes us go, ah. When we feel something, it triggers us to take action. As humans, we're emotional beings, and it makes us feel something. And this is backed up by tons of research. The Advertising Association did some research that found out that 47% of people admit to crying at a Christmas ad. Come on, who's cried at a Christmas ad? Yeah, me too. I mean, I wouldn't admit to this next one. 16% of people actually stated that they changed their social plans to watch the premiere of a Christmas ad in the UK. That's sad. People are actually changing their social activities to watch Christmas ads. I wouldn't admit to that. Let's look at a final example now, a type of advertising that we actually look forward to consuming. #ad influencer content. Content from our favorite influencers. We love consuming content from our favorite sports, makeup, fashion, marketing influencers, right? And that's reflected in the rise of influencer marketing. Influencer marketing is growing. When you hear that brands like Estee Lauder have just announced they're going to be pumping 75% of their marketing budget into influencer marketing, that is a clue. That is huge, guys. When big brands like that are making monumental shifts like this with how they're spending their marketing budget, we need to take note. And this is also reflected in the research that NeoReach did. They did research on 2,000 influencer marketing campaigns last year and found that for every dollar spent, brands are receiving $5 return in earned media. This stuff is working, guys. It's working. Why? Why is this working? Why do we buy stuff when an influencer talks about it? And it's for a number of reasons. The first reason is trust. Just like you'll listen to your mum, your nan, your friend, your brother, your sister, if they recommend a product, influencers is the same thing on a mass scale. They've built up audiences of hundreds, thousands, millions of people who listen to their every word, and it's based around trust. There's one more interesting reason as to why we like this advertising. Even if it's an advert, a #ad, we like it because it doesn't look like an ad, right? And this raises an ethical question. If something doesn't look like an ad and an influencer's promoting it, how ethical is that? And the ASA just released some research, literally September, that said that most people still can't tell the difference between an ad and not an ad based on what an influencer is posting. So this is scary stuff, guys. And there's lots of ethical questions around this, but as marketers, we need to take note. People don't like ads that look like ads, right? People don't like ads that look like ads. This is why influencer marketing works so well. And to summarize these key principles around the types of advertising we actually look forward to, like our favorite Netflix show, they need to be entertaining. They need to trigger our emotions. They need to be fun to consume, and they need to not look like ads. This is the first key principles we need to note down when developing your marketing and advertising campaigns. And the way we like to summarize this is advertainment. Entertaining advertising. Now, I have to be honest, I didn't make that term up. I found it on the internet and copied it. But the way we like to describe advertainment is producing advertising that focuses on your consumer first and your brand's KPIs second. Consumer first, brand's KPIs second. And to provide you some context, I want to share one of my favorite examples with you now. So who's heard of an online publication called Unilad? Anyone? Oh, nice. So, quick backstory, because this is pretty cool. I get excited by this stuff. So Unilad was a Facebook page started by two friends back in 2010, two university friends. And they described the page as something to watch whilst you're bored in the university library, right? Has anyone gone to university? You know when you go in the library and pretend to do work, but really you just watch videos? This page was built for you, right? So they produced this entertaining content. It was all about university culture and laddish culture, okay? Laddish culture is like when you go for beers with the lads. Do you have that here or not? Yes? Okay. Don't know why I did that. But they started this page. By 2016, they had 17 million likes on Unilad. And you can imagine, when you've got that much exposure, brands come knocking at the door, right? They actually got bought out by another publication. Fun fact for you, they got bought out by another publication last year called Lad Bible, which is one of their rivals, which is now the biggest social video publication in the world with 120 million followers worldwide, reaching 2.7 billion people a month. One after BuzzFeed's Tasty Facebook page, which is crazy. But back to this. So Unilad, when they started to build this audience, they started to team up with brands to produce content. One of the brands they teamed up with was an app called Badoo. Who's heard of Badoo? Okay, it's kind of like Tinder. Who's heard of Tinder? Who uses Tinder? Yes, I see you guys. So this Unilad teamed up with Badoo to promote their app. Rather than creating a boring Microsoft-style video, they gave the app to old people and recorded them using it. Let's have a look at this and then dissect how they did it.
Oh, Sophia said when?
Oh my gosh.
I'm looking to see if there's anyone that attracts me. He attracts me.
And I like a woman with nice physique, make you laugh, and a nice bumpy top. You see what I mean? See, I make you laugh anyway, yeah.
Ibiza, definitely like Ibiza.
Bruno Mars. What's Bruno Mars?
And who came up with this crazy idea of sticking puppy ears on and puppy noses?
Enjoy dressing in camouflage.
When I was dating age, it was sort of going to a pub.
Meet them at a party and we'll talk and chat up inside.
Justin Bieber.
Emma. Oh, Bonita.
Right, swipe that way. No, the other way.
You can tell I'm
76, can't you?
I should have said, shall we meet sometime?
Woo too?
What are you up to?
Is that what
It's an acronym.
have we got any emojis?
Kiss.
He reminds me of Littlefinger in Game of Thrones.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Now, come on, fair go.
That's only 5 miles away. You can walk there. Yeah, that'll keep you fit.
Just up the road, yeah.
Actually, this looks quite interesting. I might do this when I get home.
It's very good. You just type in, mate, and you get people talk to you just like that. It's marvelous. I think this is, it's marvelous, mate.
Woo too to you. Ooh.
Pretty good, right? Can you see the difference between that and Microsoft's campaign? This was a great piece of advertainment. They thought of the consumer first and the brand's KPI second. So we've talked about the what, we've talked about the why. Let's talk about the how. How do you guys start doing that? So I've broken this down into 4 key steps for you. Keeping it simple, 4 key steps. And I'm going to talk through these steps and provide you some examples as to how you can do this. Step number 1, understand who you are targeting. That is the most simple step you've probably ever read. Marketing 101 is understanding your customer. But to create advertainment, this is so, so crucial. You need to understand who you're targeting to create something that resonates. And one of the best ways, us as an agency, we run an agency that helps brands do this kind of thing. One of the ways we found is the best way to understand the people you're trying to target is to meet with them, is to hang out with them, is to speak to them and ask questions. So for example, we work with Wall, which is the world's biggest and oldest hair clipper brand, and they sell hair clippers to barbers. And we ran a campaign with them, and we don't know what barbers are interested in. So we went and hung out with barbers, and we asked them questions like, what funny stories do you have about customers? What language do you use within a barber's? And then we can start to shape our campaign around the things that culturally is relevant to them. So first step, who are you targeting? Go and hang out with them. This is where it gets interesting. What culturally relevant situation will only they understand? So let me explain this with an example. Let's use the Badoo example. So who were they targeting? Millennials. They wanted millennials to use their app, their dating app. What culturally relevant situation did they tap into? They tapped into how crap and rubbish old people are with technology, okay? Millennials can resonate with that. Millennials, who here has kind of helped their nan or granddad with a phone before? It's a struggle, right? They don't understand it. So they tapped into that culturally relevant situation that millennials will understand. Another example is we've worked with a gym based in the UK, and we were targeting people who would be interested in going to the gym. And the way we tapped into culture was we tapped into the different characters at the gym, right? If you go to the gym, you'll start to notice the same types of characters. So for example, there's always a really muscly, grunty man that goes, oh, 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 okay? There's always that man. There's always a really good-looking girl with makeup on. There's things like people that don't put their weights away. Me as someone that goes to the gym, I get that. If you didn't go to the gym, you wouldn't understand. So you guys, brands, marketers, businesses, you need to think what situations will only your customers get. Because if they see that online, they're going to engage with that and take action because it resonates. So that's step number 2. This is where it gets more difficult. Step number 3. How do you integrate your brand with the culturally relevant situation in an engaging way? And you can get this so wrong. There's brands out there that try and jump on kind of viral trends, and they look like your parents at a party trying to be cool, right? So you need to get this right. And the way that Badoo and Unilad did it, which really worked, was they gave the old people their technology. It wasn't in your face. It wasn't like, Badoo, Badoo, Badoo. They're using Badoo. It was, try and use this dating app. It was way more subtle. And they hit the nail on the head. So you need to think of creative ways you can do that. And finally, once you've developed your campaign, you need to think about how can you amplify and get better results through Instagram's tools, right? Instagram has a number of really great creative tools that we can use to amplify our message. And I'm going to be sharing some examples with you in a second. Before we do that, I want to share a personal story with you, right? And this personal story talks about how I've been manipulated recently to buy a product based on Advertainment. So, just before I start. 7 months ago, I found out something pretty exciting and scary. I found out I'm having a baby. My fiancée was pregnant. And thank you. Thanks, Mum. I did it. So I found out my fiancée was pregnant. Still don't know how she got pregnant. But, and it's scary, right? I don't know if there's, I'm totally the opposite of a traditional parent. This is fucking scary, seriously. And when I found this out, my online activities started to change. I started to search weird stuff in Google, okay, about babies. Never done that before. I started to follow influencer mums on Instagram. Seriously. I started to follow pages like Mamas and Papas and Mother Care. I don't know what the Romanian version of that is, but it's a page with loads of baby shit on it, basically. And it's helping educate me, right? And just to give you some context, these are the kinds of things I've been searching for. How do you keep a baby alive? Any tips? Who's a parent out there? Come on. Right, I'm speaking to you after this, seriously. So things like that. Other things about the mum. Pregnancy hormones went back to normal. She's gone mental, literally, like, trying to figure this stuff out. And finally, you do start to lose the plot here. Can dads breastfeed? Like, what happens when she's not there? There's all these weird questions. Anyway, because of these activities, I've started to get followed around the internet by baby products, okay? You must have had this before where you click on a website, they pixel you, so they track you as someone who's visited their website or engaged with them on social media, and you're now getting targeted with these ads. And one of the ads that keeps following me around is one of those baby carriers. Who's seen The Hangover? Yeah? Good. This baby carrier keeps following me around the internet. I can't get away from it. And I eventually got manipulated into buying it. And I want to break down that process with you with the 4 steps. Number 1, who are they targeting? Me. I'm the prime suspect. I'm a dad-to-be. There's a number of ways they were probably doing that. Through the Facebook pixel, tracking me going to their website, through custom audiences on Facebook and Instagram ads, seeing me interact with them, through my Google searches. I am the prime suspect, dads-to-be. And if they were really clever, they would have gone out and spoken to dads-to-be to ask them questions, right? Like we said before. Number 2, what's the culturally relevant situation that they're tapping into? And this is it. I'm shit scared, okay? They're tapping into that. This is how I feel on a day-to-day basis. And one of the things, quite a good gif, one of the things that is really scary for me is not just looking after the baby and keeping it alive, but when I've got the baby on my own, that is really scary. Like, how do you keep the child entertained? How do you stop it crying? If my fiancé is there, great, but at some point I'm going to be on my own. And this brand manipulated me as a dad-to-be. They did a really great job of integrating their brand with a piece of Advertainment. This popped up in my Instagram feed. I have never purchased a product so quickly. It's the baby's face that gets me. How cute is that, right? They got me. Bought it instantly. So let's look at step number 4. How could they have amplified this through Instagram? Now we're going to deep dive on Instagram now and look at how they can utilize Instagram to amplify their Advertainment campaign. And it's really broken down into 3 core areas. The first core area, we're going to break this down in a second, but the first core area is utilizing Instagram's latest features. There's a really important reason as to why every single one of you should be utilizing Instagram's latest features, which I'll talk to you about in a second. Number 2, using Instagram's amplification features throughout the platform, and especially in stories. There's lots of cool features that you can use to amplify your message. And finally, Instagram Creator Studio. This has literally just rolled out, and I've had early access, so I want to share some of the cool features around that as to how you can utilize this for Instagram to amplify your message. So starting with number 1, utilizing Instagram's latest features. IGTV. IGTV was Instagram's answer to YouTube, vertical YouTube. You can upload up to 10-minute videos if you're not verified, or up to an hour videos if you're verified. They did a huge launch campaign earlier in the year. I don't know did any of you guys see the launch campaign where there's loads of influencers there? Yeah? They've invested a huge amount in this, and it was kind of slow. People were slow to take up IGTV, but they're since evolving the product features, and there's things like you can now share your IGTV posts in your feed, in your stories. They're really trying to encourage users to use this. But the reason all of you guys should be using IGTV is because whenever Instagram bring out a new feature, to encourage you guys to use it, they over-index it in the algorithm, right? You can get better results for the same amount of effort. So if you're not using IGTV, action, start using it. Before that, we had Instagram Live. So you may have noticed with Instagram Live that in your home feed at the top where your stories are, you always notice whoever's going live pings to the front of your stories. Have you noticed that? Yeah? Because they're over-indexing it. They want to encourage you to use Instagram Live. So again, start using it. And you can now go live with your friends. There's loads of cool tools that you can use with Instagram Live. And the one before that, this seems really old now, Instagram Stories. When Instagram Stories came out, it's amazing because they basically just looked at Snapchat, copied it, and then killed Snapchat, right? But Instagram Stories allow you to add so much depth to your marketing. You can talk about things that you don't talk about anywhere else. And I'm guessing you're all using Instagram Stories already. And there's loads of cool features that you can amplify your content with Instagram Stories that I'll talk to you about in a second. How do you keep up to date? This is like some solid advice now, guys. To keep up to date with the latest changes, because things change so quickly, right? 3 tips for you. 1, TechCrunch. Who's heard of TechCrunch? Cool. This publication is one of the publications that releases the latest updates first. Okay, so it's important to look at their social category, the website's there, add it to or bookmark it, add it to an RSS feed reader if you have it. Check this out every day because they release new updates, especially coming to Instagram. Number 2, who knows this guy? Anyone? Cool. Matt Navarra, really cool guy from the UK. He used to work for the BBC, and he runs a podcast. He's just launched a podcast called Geek Out with Matt Navarra. He has a Facebook group called Social Media Geek Out. You should all join it. The reason you should follow this guy is because he's very well connected with developers across the world. And these developers tap into the code of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and they can see new features that these platforms are testing before they announce them. And this is the guy they tell. So he releases in his Facebook group and on Twitter and other platforms, he releases all of these new features that the platforms are testing, so you can be the first to hear about them from this guy. Make sure you follow him. Take a picture and tell him I said hello. He's a nice guy. Finally, best till last, the Friday Club. This is a free weekly email sent out every Friday that I write. And I share the best marketing-related content we've consumed and created that week. Podcasts, books, research, platform updates, videos, tutorials. We share it all within that email, and I share our deepest, darkest secrets of growing an agency. So you should all sign up to that to keep up to date with that. Let's move on to the second element. The second element of utilizing Instagram is utilizing their amplification features. So there's a number of features within Instagram that you've probably already seen, but you may or may not be using consistently. One of them is location tagging, especially within stories. There's a sticker that you can choose to tag your location, and it's not just there to tell people where you are. When you tag your location, you have the opportunity to be featured within the Explore tab, right? So this is a great free way to increase the amplification of your content. Every story you post, you should be tagging a location. And you can test different locations and try them out. The next one, hashtag story stickers. Again, you may or may not have heard of these. It's a sticker within Instagram stories. Every story you do, you should be tagging putting a hashtag sticker on that story. Again, this gives you the opportunity to be featured in the Explore tab, and it has been more difficult to be getting featured. As the users grow and it gets more noisy, it's more difficult. I remember when the location story sticker came out, and I first started using it, you'd get an extra like 500% views and engagement because no one was using it. So people would go on the Explore tab, search a location, and your sticker and your story would be featured in there. So it's still worth doing, but it is more difficult to get featured. And finally, Instagram story ads. Who's tried Instagram story ads? Yeah? So this is a relatively new placement for Facebook or Instagram ads. And like any new feature, they over-index it. So you can get better results for the same amount of money. And the way you set up these ads is within the Facebook Ads Manager. Like a normal campaign, when you get to placements, untick custom placements and just tick the Instagram story placement and untick all the others. Then upload a video under 15 seconds that's the size of a mobile screen or an image, and you can create your Instagram story ads from there. If you want to learn the how, check out these resources. Adspresso, Later, Social Media Examiner, tons of step-by-step tutorials. You'll literally get into a rabbit hole when you won't leave. Okay, so be careful, because that's what I've done. And finally, Instagram Creator Studio. Who's tried Instagram Creator Studio? Has anyone had access? Okay. They're literally just rolling this out now, so you may or may not have access. If you want a detailed video tutorial, I've created one for you there. But what this is a bolt-on to Facebook Creator Studio, okay? So Instagram Creator Studio has a number of cool features. The ones I like the best are the ability to schedule IGTV and Instagram feed posts within the tool, right? And you could do this with external apps before and external products, but a lot of the times these apps and things go past the terms and conditions for Instagram, or they break the terms and conditions, whereas this tool is built by Facebook, so it's great to use. And it can help you be more consistent with your marketing on Instagram. To wrap things up, guys, you need to remember when you're coming up with your advertainment campaigns, they need to be entertaining, like the baby dancing. So how cute is that? They need to trigger emotion, like Christmas ads. They need to make your audience feel something. They need to be fun to consume. And remember, this is so important, they need to not look like an ad. We found with lots of our clients that creating less produced content within Facebook and Instagram ad campaigns actually converts better because it doesn't look like an ad, okay? So remember that. And the final point I just want to kind of finish on is when you're developing your advertainment campaigns, you need to think more like Unilad and less like Microsoft.
Digitalium audience, close your eyes. Put your hands out in front of you with your palms facing each other. Quickly place your hands together. Again, again, again. Put your hands together for Dan Knowlton.